in addition to a plethora of other cutting-edge AI models in their respective disciplines, such as code and image generators. Google is developing not one, not two, but three fantastic language models. The ChatGPT and the associated fervor are about to disappear from Google. Almost a week ago, Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, issued a code red alert if it had an impact on Google's search engine business and as a call to an army of AI developers to roll out products as soon as possible. ChatGPT just provoked the beast. Google is not going to sit around and watch people call their search engine outdated while their AI models are actually several years ahead of OpenAI's GPT. GPT-3 itself is based on Google's Transformer architecture, which they introduced almost 6 years ago. If you think Google is in trouble in the age of AI, think again. Google's AI is about to emerge from the chrysalis after more than a decade of research and development. And when it does, the world will never be the same. As a starter, they have a chatbot named Sparrow, which is really similar to ChatGPT. Sparrow is the weakest of the three language models from Google. It's based on the Chinchilla model, which has only 70 billion parameters, but because of Google's advanced training technique, it is outperforming GPT-3 with 170 billion parameters on every possible benchmark test. While a Sparrow is a fine-tuned version of Chinchilla, just like ChatGPT is a fine-tuned version of GPT 3.5. They are almost on the same level, except that a Sparrow has the advantage of being trained to deliver evidence for its answers and provide links when the user requests them. These seemingly small differences are a huge win for Sparrow, because not knowing how to validate the judge if it is answered is holding a lot of users back. The Sparrow model is a work by DeepMind, one of the subsidiaries of Alphabet. They have been at the forefront of research for more than a decade now. DeepMind is the same company that made AlphaGo, AlphaZero, and AlphaFold to change the entire AI research landscape each time. Even Science Magazine's top 10 breakthroughs of 2022 featured 2 research products from DeepMind. AlphaCode is the best programming AI in the world, and it was above the median in competitive programming against challenges created by Codeforce. And AlphaTensor, which is an AI for efficient matrix multiplication in another world and an AI that is going to make other AIs more efficient. Another step towards making a better AI is Infinite Loop. Sure, Aspire is great. It's on the same level as ChatGPT, maybe a little better or worse. But that's not Google's best AI model yet. They have a lot more to offer. You remember Blake Lemoine, the Google engineer who was fired from Google because he claimed that Lambda, Google's state-of-the-art chatbot, is sentient. Blake is not a regular person. He's not even a regular Google engineer or even a regular AI developer. He's an AI expert that was specifically working on Lambda to push it to its limits.
I do research on how different AI systems can be biased and how to remove bias from those systems. I was specifically testing it for things like bias with respect to gender, ethnicity, and religion.
This guy's everyday job is to work with the most advanced AI models. This thing will blow an ordinary person's mind if Lambda can convince him that it is essentially true, regardless of whether that is true or not. Now, right after ChatGPT is released, Blake Lemoine tweeted, "I love how people are talking about how ChatGPT is going to replace Google while Google just quietly uses a more advanced dialogue system behind the scenes." ChatGPT is a big step in the right direction, but there are still a few years behind Google. As Blake said in his interview on the H3 podcast, a language model like ChatGPT is just a module inside Lambda. Mina is the language model inside Lambda, which is really similar to ChatGPT, but Lambda has a lot of other modules.
Mina is a system that actually is quite comparable to GPT-3. So like if you're having a conversation with GPT-3, like you might ask, hey, can you tell me about, and you give it some movie. If the knowledge about that movie isn't in the model, that's the end of the conversation.
They just say, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, yeah.
With Lambda, if you ask it about a movie, it can query the web.
But would it actually ever watch the movie and learn from that?
Yes.
Wow. See, that's very interesting.
It might sound far-fetched, for example, for an SEO consultant. In the SEO community, it is not even a question that Google crawlers can see a web page almost like a human. It's not just reading the text, they can actually see the style of the page. If you have an image, it better be related to the subject, or Google will know. If you have a video, Google can identify the subject of the video as you see it and recommend even portions of it for some queries. That means AI can understand the content of the video at least to some degree. Now it's just a matter of fitting this information to Lambda. It's like these crawlers are the eyes and ears of Lambda. Plus an entire community of SEO experts is trying their best to help Google understand the content of the page. They use HTML tag. They provide accurate descriptions of every video. They use markups and schemas so they can rank better, but they are indirectly providing clean data to Lambda just the way you can understand it. Other than that, Lambda has been trained on dialogue, which makes it a lot more persuasive and articulate. If you compare their answers, Lambda's answers are simple, short, and very much on point. If you're wondering why Lambda's test kitchen is not as impressive as it should be, it's because it's a dramatically restricted version of Lambda, and I will explain why Google had to restrict it so much in a moment. If you are not blown away already, let me tell you that even Lambda is not Google's most advanced AI model. Google's best model, which was upgraded almost 7 months ago, is PAL, probably the most advanced AI model in the world as far as we know. It's a 540 billion parameter model that was trained on more than 6,000 TPU chips, and its training data consists of social media conversations, filtered web pages, books, code, and more. This model is multilingual. And of course it can do code completion. It outperformed all the previous AI models, such as Megatron, Turing Chinchilla, and even Lambda on every measure, and that wasn't even the jaw-driving part. Google has a collection of really tricky tasks called Beyond the Imitation Game Benchmark, or Peak Bench. In short, this includes extremely difficult challenges such as delivering persuasive arguments for false statements or locating a Russian proverb with the closest meaning to the provided English proverb. PAL outperformed the average human success rate by a few percentage points. PAL outperformed the average human success rate in solving the most challenging intelligence-based tasks. So make of that what you will, all of that is just one battlefront. Google has a lot more advantages, which I'll explain in a second. But why isn't Google releasing all of these amazing products? As you might have seen, people like to force AI to say bad things and then post them on Twitter. Unlike OpenAI, Google has the biggest brand in the information industry and can't afford to hurt their brand even a little bit. Secondly, they are already making billions of dollars from search. They have an established form of monetization, and they don't have any incentive to disrupt themselves. Even if they took over the entire search industry in a year and had 1 billion customers by now, they would be more or less in the same place, because they are in the search industry. They could be even worse off, as it's not clear that monetizing chatbots is as profitable as monetizing search results. And last but not least, the cost of computation is too high. OpenAI is giving access to ChatGPT and is handling a few million people. But if you are on the same level as Google, you are thinking about handling requests for billions of people, which requires a whole new level of computational resources. Without ChatGPT, we would have to wait a lot longer to see any serious AI product from Google, but now Google has to do something, which is why Andrej Karpathy, the former director of AI at Tesla, tweeted this right after ChatGPT was released. All fallen empires begin the game in a sleeping status. Despite their complete development and immense power, the fallen empires will remain passive, staying within their borders and taking no action unless provoked. Google is afraid of hurting their reputation more than anything. But as Blake Lemoine said, if ChatGPT or some other product ever becomes a real threat, they will just buy the bullet and release Lambda, which would smoke ChatGPT. Even if we throw all that away and assume Google has a chatbot on the same level or even slightly worse than ChatGPT. As you know, the cost of running these chatbots is not trivial, and making them a premium product would hugely impact their potential, so it seems like ads are the way to go. And Google, which has the biggest ad agency in the world, has a huge advantage here. They have all the connections, all the customers, all the data, and all the experience to make it work. OpenAI is not even in the picture when it comes to ads. They are not going to start an ad agency from scratch. That's not a trivial task. Google's ability to track users across the web, gather data, and identify users' demands is a product of years of development. And having broad access through a wide range of mostly free products that are just getting data is not something that you can build in 2 or 3 years. More than that, AI as a chatbot is great, but no one wants to open the browser, log into OpenAI, and use a chatbot for every little question. Every time, AI would probably be more accessible and also integrated into different software applications. For example, everyone prefers code completion within Visual Studio Code to a chatbot that has no context of the entire code and requires you to copy and paste in and out of it every time. Now, what product in OpenAI must include GPT? None. Alphabet, on the other hand, has made Google Search itself the most visited website on the planet. It's so popular that it has become a world itself. Google is the equivalent of searching on the web, and the fact that it is the default destination for asking questions is not going to easily change. Google itself is just one product. A question just popped into your mind. The Android operating system and Google Assistant are here, so you can ask whatever you want. Do you want to write an email? Alternatively, if you want to write an automated response to his Merry Christmas emails, the AI inside Gmail can assist you. Are you writing an essay or preparing a presentation for your class? No worries, Google Workspace's AI can help you with your research and will format the page for you if you want a summary of the video before watching it. YouTube's AI assistant is going to help you. You're reading an article on the web and you want an explanation or translation? No problem, Chrome's AI assistant has got you covered. And there are tons of other already established Google products that would immensely benefit from AI. Being completely though, OpenAI can license their AI to other companies. Microsoft is already collaborating with them to incorporate AI into their products. But at the end of the day, it's not the same as having your own basket of products. It's not even a fair comparison. OpenAI has fewer than 400 employees. DeepMind alone employs approximately 15,000 people. And Alphabet's total number of AI researchers and developers exceeds 20,000 when the economy is considered rigid. Google has nothing to lose and everything to gain because they already have a monopoly on search. But if you look at the economy as a point that is about to double or triple in size with the help of artificial intelligence, then Google is one of those companies that will take a big chunk of it. They can expect Google's 2023 keynote to introduce new products or upgrades as soon as May. If the age of AI is truly here, share your thoughts in the comment sections. Let's catch up in the next video. Till then, take care.